So let's just quickly save that, and we'll save that as our sitemap 1. Now, if you had a product sales website as opposed to an information site, what would we do differently? Well, perhaps we'd call these products. And this might potentially be, let's assume that you sell, perhaps this is our phone company that we use as an example in the shop. So we'll have phones, we might have faxes, and we might have mobile phones. Does anyone even sell faxes anymore? I'm sure that they do, because people ask me to send a fax all the time. Okay, so once we've got into there, we'd say, righto, in our phones category, we have some category information. And we'll probably have the same in all of these. So let's just copy and paste that straight through. Now, the next thing that we might have, and we might just ditch a couple of these lines for a moment until we've finished putting some of these things in, because they'll need to move. Okay, so let's just take these guys and we'll move them all down slightly. There we go. Now, the way that we illustrate on a home page that there's perhaps multiple pages for something here, so category information, this might be where you display thumbnails for the range of phones that you have, and then each piece of equipment, each product has its own page. So what we'd call this is product detail. Now the way that I illustrate this, that this would have multiple pages, is I just put a little square right there, and then I copy and paste that a couple of times so people can clearly see that there would be multiple pages there. So that's, to me, internally in our organisation, that means to us that there is a number of pages involved in this particular section. So again, I don't want them to be blue and hard to see, I just want them to be nice and easy for us to get to. So I'll just select them and give them a nice little just plain grey and black outline. We don't want these things to be overly complex, we just want them to illustrate the point. Once you got into the product detail page, you might have case studies that relate to the whole category and are linked to by the product page. So perhaps that's correct. So again, all we need to do is run this particular stuff through. So we'll just change this to product detail, and we'll just change this to product detail as well. Okay, and we'll just put our 3 little squares on each of those. Now that we've done that, what we've got is a simple catalog type site that people can browse information on. The browsing of this information might not be the only way that you want people to access it. So what you might have is a product search facility as well. So this is our products browsing section, but then I would suggest that we also put over here a product search. So the way that we do that is we'll just take this one as our base, and we create another box over here like this. This is what we're going to put in here. We're going to put search for products. Now, with our product search page in place, we're also going to have a product search results page. So once I've searched for something, I'll come to a results page. Now, this is where we illustrate once again using our arrows exactly what's meant to happen. So our search results page is going to go to a product detail page. Each time that somebody finds whatever it is that they're looking for, they're going to go to the product detail page for the particular thing. So that's going to be able to allow us now to pull this just into here like so, and we'll get that there. We go. So that particular thing is now going to go to a product detail page depending on what I searched for. That's what I'm illustrating there. So the other thing I just need to do is just need to link those two together, and I also probably need to put a link from the home page and around to the product search page. Now, it might not be part of the menu, it might just be on the page, and that's where this particular link like this works okay. So now we're saying that from the home page you could also go to a search page. Once you've got your results, you'll go to the product detail page for whichever section you're looking at. It's up to you to decide and for you to discuss with the person that's building your website, or if you're doing it yourself, whether you want to illustrate it going into each of these. Now, it needs to be something that you understand to make sure that you've got all of the information that you need to put this together. So there's a couple of simple sitemaps for you. The first one we looked at in the first video was for a basic information site, and the one that we've looked at just here is for a catalog site or an e-commerce site. If you had an e-commerce site, the other pages that you potentially put in here are all the things like checkout. So we'll just quickly add those in now. So this goes from a catalog site, so we might just quickly save this as, and we'll call this a sitemap number 2. And now we're just going to turn it into an e-commerce sitemap by putting in here a few more pages. So we're going to put in here view shopping cart. Then we're going to have our checkout page. And then we're going to have our payment done page. Now, if we're doing a full technical scope for your website, there's obviously a lot more pages in there than that. What we're talking about here, though, is some pretty simple ideas of how this will work for the majority of people. So let's just put in a couple of these lines that we're going to need. So obviously, anywhere through here, I'm going to be able to come from there straight through to the viewing of the cart. From the viewing of the cart, I'm going to go to the checkout page, and from the checkout page I'm going to go to the payment done page. So wherever I am on those product things there, I can actually get through. Now, the reason we use the connecting lines, when we just move this shape about and try and get him to line up there a little bit better, our lines go with it. So there you go, that's a very, very basic one now for an e-commerce site. So you can see that a sitemap is not a hard job to do. You don't need to freak out over this, you just need to do some basic things. Hopefully that's been helpful. The next video we're going to go into is the actual laying out of the wireframe, which is one of my favourite areas of designing a website, because it's when it all really starts to come together. Look forward to seeing you then.